The music was so loud it rattled my teeth, a bass line thumping like a heart attack through my bedroom window. I'm not talking about a neighborly get-together gone rogue. This was a full-blown rave in my backyard, and I hadn't been invited. Meet Karen, the queen of entitlement, who'd turned my private pool into her personal Coachella without so much as a text. I'd moved to this quiet slice of suburbia 6 months ago, craving peace after a decade in the city's grind. The house came with a sprawling lot, a crystal-clear pool, and most importantly, deeded ownership of the adjacent acre. A fact buried in fine print that even the realtor glossed over. I'm Jake, by the way, a 34-year-old landscaper who'd rather be planting azaleas than dealing with drama. But drama, as it turns out, had other plans. The trouble started small. Karen, my neighbor 2 houses down, had a reputation. She'd roll her eyes at HOA rules, park her SUV across 3 spaces, and once screamed at a delivery guy for breathing too loudly near her mailbox. Classic Karen stuff. Right. But I figured live and let live until she discovered my pool. It began with her kids sneaking over, splashing around like it was public property. I'd politely shoo them off, thinking it was a one-off. Then Karen herself started showing up, lounging on my deck chairs, sipping margaritas like she owned the place. "It's just a pool, Jake," she'd say, waving me off. "Don't be so uptight." I tried reasoning. I left notes. I even put up a private property sign, which she promptly used as a coaster for her wine cooler. By week 3, her pool days had escalated into full-blown parties, strangers in my backyard, blasting EDM, leaving solo cups and glitter in my grass. I'd come home from work, dirt under my nails, and to find my sanctuary trashed. Enough was enough. The real kicker, Karen didn't just think she could use my pool, she genuinely believed she had a right to it. See, the previous owner, an old guy named Hal, had let neighbors use the pool freely. Karen, in her infinite wisdom, assumed that arrangement carried over. She'd strut around, telling her friends, "This is our community space." I showed her the deed once, pointing out my name in black and white. She laughed. "Paper doesn't mean anything. Hun, relax. Relax." My blood was boiling. I started documenting everything: photos of the trash, videos of her shouting matches with me, timestamps of the noise complaints I filed. The cops came twice, but Karen had a way of charming them, batting her lashes and playing the single mom, just having fun card. They'd shrug, tell me to work it out, and leave. I was losing my mind, and Karen was winning. Then came the twist. While digging through county records to strengthen my case, I found something wild. My land extended way beyond the pool. That acre I owned, it included the strip of land Karen's house sat on. She'd built her McMansion on a leased plot, and guess who held the lease? Me. I sat back, heart pounding, as the realization hit. Karen wasn't just trespassing, she was squatting on my property. I could have gone nuclear right then, served her an eviction notice, and watched her world implode. But I wanted her to feel the weight of her own arrogance first. So I planned. I called my buddy Marcus, a contractor with a flair for theatrics, and we hatched a scheme to make Karen's next party her last. The goal wasn't just to stop her, it was to make her regret ever stepping foot in my yard. The big day came on a scorching Saturday. Karen's party was in full swing by noon, louder than ever. I counted at least 50 people: friends, cousins, randoms from her Pilates class swarming my pool like locusts. A DJ booth was set up on my patio, and someone had strung fairy lights across my oak tree. Karen, in a neon caftan, was holding court on my diving board, mic in hand, belting out karaoke like she was Beyoncé at the Grammys. I stood at my kitchen window, sipping coffee, waiting for the signal. Marcus arrived at 3 p.m., right on cue, with a crew and a bulldozer. The plan was simple: start surveying the land for a new development, which just so happened to include the pool and the strip under Karen's house. I'd tipped off a few neighbors who'd also had enough of her nonsense, and they were ready to play along. As the bulldozer's engine roared, heads turned, Karen froze mid-note, her mic squealing feedback. "What the hell is that?" she shrieked, pointing at Marcus's crew, who were unrolling caution tape around the pool. I strolled out, calm as you please, holding a clipboard for effect. "Afternoon, Karen," I said, loud enough for her guest to hear. "Just checking my property lines. You know, the ones you've been ignoring." Her face went from pink to purple. She stormed over, heels clicking, and jabbed a finger in my chest. "This is my party. Jake, you can't just barge in here." "Oh, I'm not barging," I said, smiling. "I'm reclaiming what's mine, including that land your house is on." I handed her a copy of the lease agreement, my name circled in red. Her eyes bugged out, scanning the paper. The crowd was silent now, phones out, filming every second. Karen's best friend, Tina, a mousy woman who'd always trailed her like a shadow, stepped forward. "Karen, is this true?" she asked, voice shaky. That was the twist I hadn't expected. Tina, her loyal sidekick, was starting to crack. Karen laughed, but it was hollow. "This is fake. He's bluffing," she yelled, tossing the paper into the pool. Big mistake. Marcus, playing his part like a pro, hopped off the bulldozer and announced, "Ma'am, we're starting demolition prep today. County's orders." He pointed to the pool, where his crew was fake measuring the cracked tiles. In reality, now, the pool's foundation was fine until Marcus accidentally nudged a valve with his boot, sending a jet of water spraying across the deck. Chaos erupted. People screamed, slipping on the wet tiles, as the pool began to drain, exposing the muddy bottom. Karen's empire was crumbling, and she knew it. She climbed back onto the diving board, shouting at her guests to stay put and not let this loser win. But the ground was literally shifting. The valve Marcus hit had loosened a pipe, and a low rumble shook the yard. A massive crack split the pool's edge, water gushing out like a broken dam. Karen wobbled, her heels slipping, and for one glorious moment, I thought she'd fall in. She didn't, but the image of her standing there, soaked and screaming, was viral gold. Someone, probably Tina, posted it online within minutes. The aftermath was brutal. Karen's guests fled, leaving behind a wasteland of plastic cups and soggy towels. The cops showed up again, this time less amused. I showed them the lease, the deed, and my stack of complaints. They didn't arrest Karen, but they issued a trespass warning and told her to vacate my land. Turns out, her house was technically on a month-to-month lease, and I had every right to terminate it. I gave her 30 days to figure it out. Karen tried to fight back, of course. She hired a lawyer, who quickly realized she had no case. The HOA, sick of her antics, sided with me. Tina, in a final betrayal, spilled the tea on Karen's other scams, apparently. She'd been overcharging neighbors for pool access she didn't own. By the end of the month, Karen was packing boxes, her SUV stuffed with knockoff designer bags. The last I saw of her, she was flipping me off from her driveway as a moving truck idled behind her. My pool's fixed now, the land's secure, and I've got a new fence electric, just in case. But the real win, that viral video of Karen's meltdown, racked up 2 million views on X, with comments calling her everything from pool pirate to entitlement empress. I'm no hero, just a guy who wanted his backyard back. But damn, it felt good to watch karma do its thing. What do you think ever dealt with a Karen who thought she owned the world? Drop your stories below. I could use a laugh.